Hey, if you're anything like me and you want to get some of the artifacts from the PvP reward tracks, but you're mainly a PvE player, or you don't have a group that you go do things like OPR with, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that have made it so I don't suck so bad at it. I was basically in the bottom 5 or bottom 10 every time. So I give you some tricks so even if you're new, you can get some points and get rewards. You only need 500 points to get a reward. So I'll show you how in just a second. So the first tip I'm going to give you is mainly for brand new players that come into OPR. Since you only need 500 points to get a reward, you're going to get a couple thousand experience points for the PvP tracks, regardless if you get a reward, even if you don't win. So basically what you want to do, if you're very new and you don't have good gear and you feel intimidated, you can just go basically fill up the forts and fortify them. So go take over the first fort that's closest to you, chop some trees down, skin a couple wolves, and build up the fort, the doors on the fort, and then the outpost in the middle, so people have a place to work to when they die. It actually makes it really cool, so you don't have to run so far from the main fort. You're building up these outposts. And then also you'll be able to use the armory, so if you use the Azop that you pick up, people will be able to get things like battle bread and such. Then also build up the tent that's the command post that gives a boost to the team. Alright, the second tip, especially for newer players, and this is something I'm very guilty of, don't try to be a hero. Don't rush in without any healers or without any help, because 99% of the time no one will follow you because they're basically just trying to get kills and assists so they can boost up their points. So definitely don't try to be a hero and run in. But if you can coordinate with a team and run in and you have a good healer, then you can get a lot of points just basically absorbing damage and trying to stay on point. My next tip is don't try to play glass cannon and just get kills, because if you're new, you're going to get your butt handed to you. You're not going to kill anybody. You're just going to die all the time, and you're basically going to keep respawning and not get many points and not have any fun at all. So don't be afraid to put points into Constitution. Once I started to run like 350 in my main stat and 200 or so in Constitution, or evenly split, I started to do a lot better. I went from the bottom 5 or 10 into sometimes the top 10 of people, so usually the top 20, so the top half. So definitely don't try to be a glass cannon. Just get a little Constitution, be a little tankier. Don't be afraid to wear heavy gear. That extra damage isn't going to make or break. Okay, moving right along to another tip. Pick a role and kind of stick with it. I mean, obviously you're a healer, If you're going to be ranged attack, you're going to do ranged attack, elemental and such. But a good way to actually score some points is go a little tankier and then have a weapon that has some kind of like keenly jagged on it, so you can inflict some bleeds and stand in the group and help just kind of AoE things down, and you'll get a lot of assists that way. You won't get a lot of solo kills, but you'll get points for assists, and you'll also get points for, I guess, incoming healing, and then also for absorbing damage. So you can get a lot of points that way, and then you'll start to score in the 2,000 to 3,000 range most of the time. There's been times where I've played a build like this and I've scored over 10,000 points just with 40 or 50 assists from bleeds. So that sometimes I'll use the sword with keenly jagged on it and then the flail, and I'll just play tanky and do that. So you can do that and score lots of points as well. Probably one of the most important tips is practice makes perfect. So the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. You're going to learn different weapon combos, when to stun, when not to stun. Sometimes you'll stagger a foe and then you'll use a stun right away and it won't stun them because a certain amount of time hasn't elapsed. So you'll get good at that with enough practice. So definitely practice makes perfect. Something else that makes a huge difference, but it does take a little bit of gold, is make sure you use some of your boosters. So like Powerful Honing Stone, or you can even get the tier 4 because it's a lot cheaper. Things like Oak Flesh Bomb or Gem Dust, so you can absorb some of the damage. Very, very important. And then the Powerful Incense as well for some of the status ailments, because all the other players that you're trying to kill that have been doing this a lot are going to be using them. Sometimes you're going to be hitting someone and you're going to hit them 20 times and it looks like they're taking no damage. It's because they're using these boosters. But also something that I didn't know at first is the health bar caps at a certain points. It's either 15 or 20,000. So if they have more health than that, you can hit them and take 4,000 or 5,000 health out and their bar will never move. So they're not actually cheating or hacking or anything. It's just you don't notice it because you haven't done enough damage yet. So definitely use your boosters because everybody else will. And I think the most important tip of all is just have fun. Don't get discouraged. You're going to run in sometimes and for some reason the queue, you won't have any healers and it'll just be a waste of time. But hurry up and get your points. And sometimes it's best just to let them, if they capture all the forts and they've got the increased boost bar where it's sped up, just after you've got your points to get your reward, sometimes it's best just to let it run out and move on to the next one, because sometimes you'll get a lot of healers, sometimes you won't get any, which kind of sucks. Hopefully with the next season update they fix some of that, and it'll be a little better for that. But as always, hopefully the content was helpful. Hopefully this helps you improve a little bit at PvP, especially OPR. I'm going to get into arenas here soon, but every time I queue for those, it seems like it takes forever. No one's doing it, so I need to upgrade my Freedom Artifact, and one of those is kill 25 players in the arena. So I have to be doing some of that soon. Hope to see you in the next video.